Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're all doing well. I'm doing okay, just fine. So we're back on the build, back on the XV500 build, and today is one of the very last things we need to do, and it involves the petrol tank and its relocation point for the petrol cock, the fuel tap if you like it. Let me explain you why. So originally petrol tank was sitting more or less in this position, so the Yamaha logo was perfectly straight, horizontal. So that's more or less the position that was on the bike, and the petrol tap was sitting here. I mean, it's, you can see the hole is still there. So oops. So that is the position of a petrol tap, and that's absolutely fine if the petrol tank is mounted this way. However, as you know, I modified the bike quite a bit, created my own subframe, I raised it, I moved it backwards a little bit, so the petrol tank sits kind of like this right now, right? Petrol tap being over here, it's no good because it's not the lowest point of the petrol tank. It's far beyond the lowest point. I need to relocate petrol tap to sit over here. Let me show you what I came up with and how we're going to deal with it. Right, so what I've got here is just a regular universal, just normal petrol motorcycle petrol tap, fuel tap. It's got an on, off, in the reserve position, integrated fuel filter, so it sits inside a petrol tank. And the main problem was this this nut, because this nut that lives on top of, it's got like a seal inside. On top of that, one way or the other, there we go. That's a left-hand thread and a right-hand thread on top. It's kind of split. The nut is kind of split in the middle when it comes to threading, and that's a very particular thread as well on it. You know, nothing else fits on this tab over here. So you tie it up one way, and once you got a tube with the outside thread on your petrol tank, you can screw it in there. The problem is, I couldn't find anything that would fit that thread. You know, I went to plumbing shops and some other stuff, and I said, can I have a pipe with the outside thread that will match this diameter and this kind of thread and that specifications, and they couldn't help me. Whether they couldn't help me or they didn't want to help me, that's a different story. So I went to a local hardware store and asked for a bolt, just a regular bolt, so they can match that kind of thread that fits inside, and they sorted out me with this bad boy. It cost me £2.50, that little bolt. And what I did, I just drilled a hole in it. It took me probably like 45 minutes. Drilling a hole like a smaller and smaller diameter, put lots of oil in there, taking it in and out. So I drilled it to the right diameter. And as you can see right now, it's a steel bolt by the way. Right now that fits here perfectly well. So I can screw it in, tie it up, and we should be hunky-dory. The plan is to cut the bolt off, well, the bolt head anyway, and weld the rest of it to the petrol tank, underneath the petrol tank, so I can, hopefully without any issues, just bolt it on. Simple as that, right? No. Let me explain you why. So here we go. That's the petrol tank from underneath. That's the original petrol tap hole where it was when it was sitting. That will need to be welded on. I need to put a metal plate on it and weld it outside, on the around it, basically to seal that gap. And the new petrol tap needs to be located here. Luckily there's some larger area over here that I can do that. However, this underneath the petrol tank it's paper thin. It really is, and I'm no welder, you know. There's no way I can weld it there properly, that bolt around this paper thin. Top is actually quite thick, but underneath it's very thin steel. I just know it. There's no way I can weld around this without blowing holes, and even if I do weld, you know, few passes on top of that, I'm always risking some kind of pinholes and some other shit, and the petrol will leak through that, even gently, but it will leak through that and it will ruin the paintwork and everything else, and I will need to start over again. So I thought I'm gonna see a professional about it, who does TIG welding, and he will help me out with that. Luckily I got a friend, he will charge me not much money hopefully for that, and I'm gonna I'm gonna prepare everything, measure everything up, make sure I want it there, I want it dead straight, and I gotta go and see him so he can TIG weld it around that, you know, very nicely, do a very professional job. I'm trying to do everything I can on this bike, but I'm no expert. This is just a hobby at the moment, you know. I'm just doing it for my own pleasure and my own satisfaction, you know. And if I can't do something, then there's no shame here. I'm gonna be happy to see a professional. He can help me out with this, you know. That's not a big job, but still, it's quite important to take it right. So I'm gonna do some measuring, clean out the petrol tank a little bit from the outside so it's easy to weld, and I'm gonna jump in the car and see my friend, see if he can help me with that or not. Right, let's see what happens. Alright guys, so it's another day and we're back with a petrol tank from a welder. I actually just been right now this evening, and I'll tell you what, watching him work was absolute pleasure. This guy's a genius when it comes to TIG welding, and what a skill. I couldn't be any happier with the result. That is the blanking plate for the original petrol tap, and now he fitted the my little bolt over here that I have for the new petrol tap, for the new location. As you can see, it's right in the bottom of the petrol tank, but it's the lowest point right now. And what a skill, you know, to weld it all around it like this. I mean, something I would love to learn, you know, to do TIG welding. Unfortunately, there is only 24 hours in a day, and I already have too much on my plate going on. So probably a skill to learn in another lifetime, or another decade maybe, I don't know. Not yet, that's for sure, but still very grateful to a friend of mine, and yeah, I'm very happy with the result of the petrol tank. Right guys, so the petrol tank is ready. As obviously it needs stripping down for paint and prep and all that shit, but as far as fabrication goes, the petrol tank is ready, and I couldn't be happier about it, because that was a big step doing it, relocating that thing. Sometimes I was thinking about it for quite too long. In the end it was quite easy, just needed to seek help of a professional, and I'm glad I did, because I would never ever be able to do it to this level, to this quality. So big thumbs up to a friend of mine, thank you very much, and we're moving on. Alright guys, so as I've been saying and a couple of times before probably, the bike is nearly ready. I mean, the fabrication part anyway. I know it probably doesn't look like it is nearly there, because it's a mess, but that's because I've been working off camera, trying to tidy things up, reconnect everything, checking all the bolts and all that, you know, very small tedious jobs that nobody wants to really see. But I need probably another like 2 or 3 hours reconnecting everything and tidying it up, and then we're gonna fill our petrol tank with petrol, as you would. Put it back on the bike, reconnect to our SU carb over here, which is currently over here, and hopefully start it up. And without any surprises, we should be able to get the engine running first time for 4 months probably, or is it 5 months right now? I lost count. And that's it for today, guys. This little guy, it's getting really close to completion. The first part of that build anyway, the fabrication part. And I'm really excited about it. I know today's video is probably not the most exciting video you've seen yet, but the petrol tank, getting the petrol tank ready, it was a big step, a huge milestone, you know, if you want to look at it this way, for me to kind of complete that. I kept it to the very end because I just want to make sure everything on the bike is done until I seek help from a professional to do those TIG welds for me on this petrol tank. It wasn't easy, but we made it. But yeah, hopefully next video from this series will be trying to start this bad boy. I'm not gonna promise you it will be, because there may be something in a way, some kind of troll, you know, that is hiding somewhere in or gremlin, not troll, a gremlin, hiding in the electrics or hiding in some other kind of system, or maybe there's some issue I created myself. I don't know that. I haven't started this bike since the very first video of this series, which was I think in April, so some time ago. So exciting, but I can't wait. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching. Have a beer, rock hard, and I'll see you next time. Let's see if the beast is alive.